second night of a back-to-back for the Sacramento Kings on the home floor. A nice win last night. We find out no Harden or Embiid? Oh, that could be a Kings win. 7-0. Tyrese Maxey was fantastic. The Kings had a 21-point lead with about 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, and that evaporated. A monster third quarter for the Sixers. They end a 5-game road trip 5-0 with a 129-127 win over the Kings in Sacramento. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing good now. I think it's one of those things where you look at how they lost and it was like, that's really annoying, you know? And then the hope that they were giving was actually fun, right? It made it a little bit more fun there, especially right there at the end of the game. But Kings won 6 straight before losing this one to the Sixers. But it just sucked too because it was the Sixers without Joel Embiid and James Harden, which again, still solid pieces on this team.
For sure.
But it just felt so beatable.
We're going to get to the game. We'll go over the highs and a lot of lows in this game. Before we dive into that, let's just well wishes to Chimezie Metu, because Metu went down 9:19 mark of the second quarter with what the team is calling a leg injury at this point. I don't want to speculate what that could be. It didn't look good. He looked like he was in a tremendous amount of pain. He was helped to his feet. It looked like he was maybe going to get helped by teammates to the locker room. He ends up limping back to the locker room. Either way, those things are just super scary, and you just hope that Metu is okay, because injuries just suck.
Did you see the replay by any chance?
I don't like looking at replays.
I know you don't.
No, I do not.
And I didn't mean to, and I wish I didn't. It looked like a really, just again, I'm just going off of a replay, just saying like what the visual was of like this like weird bend hyperextension of the leg, and it was just a weird direction. It's like barf, 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 barf a million times. So just hoping Chimezie Metu is going to be, okay, and obviously recover quickly.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll learn more about that. I know Mike Brown was asked about after the game. He said he didn't have a chance to talk to Metu because Metu was already on his way to get it looked at. So well wishes to Chimezie Metu, and hopefully he's back soon and that it's not a big deal. Let's get to this game, Morgan. A frustrating game. And I think you text me at one point asking, is this going to be the worst loss of the season? I don't know about that. I think it's one of the more disappointing losses because I've said this many times. I just hate losing games at home. The Sixers started the season 12-12. They are now 18-4 since then. So they've really put it together. But when you go into this game and you see, Embiid's not playing, Harden's not playing. Okay, this team's at the end of a 5-game trip. I know you played last night. You should take care of business. And the Kings got off to a really, really good start in this game. It kind of looked like they might run away with it, right? You're at the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. The Kings have 70-plus points. They're up by 21 points with 2 minutes to play in the second quarter, and then it went way wrong. They finished that quarter with 3 turnovers, and then all of a sudden that 21-point lead is down to 10. At the half. And that felt like a pivotal swing in the game. It's like, it's one thing to lose a lead, teams chip away, but you lost it so fast.
Yeah, Daniel House hit that 3 right there at the horn, to go into the locker room. And even that was just like the dagger, right? Making it a 10-point game. De'Aaron talked a little bit about it after the game, saying, what we've been doing in games as of late, a much better job of responding to whatever bad defense is being played at the beginning of a game. And he's like, this seemed to be a lot more of the opposite, where it's like we were playing well in the beginning and then played bad defensively, especially the rest of the game. And I think that's a good way to put it, especially with the way that the Sixers were doing a really good job of getting the paint and scoring on them. They finished with 70 points in the paint on this one.
I want you to pause on
Joel
that.
Embiid.
70 points in the paint is a shit ton of points in the paint.
A lot.
The Sixers aren't like a team that dominates in points in the paint either.
Right.
That's the other thing. So you give up 70, Embiid's not there,
Right.
Harden's not there. Like they got carved up tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rebounding advantage. They got absolutely destroyed on the glass tonight. It was 45-29 in favor of the Sixers. Offensive rebounds 16-4 in favor of the Sixers. Philly had 23 second chance points. When I say those stats, it's almost crazy to think that the Kings were in this game even at the end.
Yeah.
There was some good in this game. I thought De'Aaron was awesome. We'll get to that. But I think that's where the most disappointment lies. It's like, look, you're right. The Sixers still have good players on this team. They're one of the better teams in the NBA. And, you know, they're not just a two-player team. But to see you lose a lead like that.
How they lost it, right?
And then the third quarter happens where they had 11 points. The Sixers, I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. The Sixers' first miss of the third quarter came at the 7:15 mark of the third. They scored 19 points during that stretch. I mean, that's in less than 5 minutes of a quarter.
And you saw not only there in the third quarter some of the defensive breakdowns, but I think you look at some of the crunch time minutes too in the fourth, and where like Niang was coming off of a screen. I think maybe it was Barnes that was fighting over it. Got a little caught up, but your teammates have got to do a better job of either coming over and understand, like you can't be in that drop coverage or stay on your guy. It's Niang who's a good 3-point shooter, right? Harrison Barnes trying to fight through, almost trying to look like, hey, I got fouled on this screen, when really it's like, no, you got to have one focus, and that's to get the hell to the shooter. So those things were happening. We saw the way that they were getting into the paint, just really dominating from that mid-range game in the paint and everything as well. It was just, it was frustrating.
It really was. I was trying to think of all the defensive breakdowns that we saw. The one that happened late that hurt him big time, and Tyrese Maxey just carved him up. Maxey had 32 points, 6 assists. I love his attacking, dude. The guy finishes well. But the play late where Fox is on him and dude just coming off screens, Herter has to switch, and Herter's behind him. Herter tries to recover. Sabonis comes over to help, and Maxey goes high window bucket.
Oh my God. Talk about a smart player that knows how to take contact and still finish the shot, especially as he gets closer and closer to the bucket. Really fun seeing the way as an NBA fan, it's fun seeing young players like this, ball out. It's not fun seeing them do this against the team that you root for. But for Maxey, I think tonight, just seeing what he's capable of as a player, especially without James Harden out there, it gives him a bigger opportunity to have the ball in his hands even more, to create, to score, to just do so much more for his team and showcase what his talents are.
And this was also a Sixers team where Tobias Harris was in foul trouble tonight. He fouled out with like 3 minutes to go in this game. So not only Embiid out, not only Harden out, Tobias only played 25 minutes in this game.
That, and you text me about it being the 8:18 mark. What happened? The Kings were going to get sent to the free throw line the rest of the game in the fourth quarter. And those moments right there, the mindset needs to be just attack. Find a way to get fouled. Look for different ways to get fouled. The Sixers do a tremendous job of that. You see that James Harden, obviously one of the best at it. Joel Embiid will also seek fouls from guys down low and sell things, do what he needs to do. And I think if you're the Kings in that situation, you just have to do even more of, I don't know, being exaggerating or just really showing the refs like, he got me, selling it so much more when you're in that type of free throw situation.
When you look at this game tonight and we talk about the rebounding where the Kings got killed tonight, how do you explain it? Like, what's wild about it. There's not one member of the Sixers tonight who had double-digit rebounding.
Damn.
Check these out, Morgan.
Okay.
Tobias had 5. Harrell had 7. Melton had 7. Maxey had 3. Milton gave him 6. Yang gave him 6. Paul Reed gave him 6.
You know what explains it? The offensive rebounding number for the team, 16 for the team, which led to 23 second chance opportunity
for sure.
points.
I guess what is that? Tired leg on the second night of a back to like what? They got outworked tonight, man.
Yeah, they did.
This is not a big team. They're long. I like Paul Reed's activity, by the way.
Sure.
The guy comes in there. Harrell, we know he could play hard, but like I'm like, how do you get outworked tonight?
Final game of their road trip, and yeah, that's what was tough about it. I know I was tired going into today's game, and I'm like, man, a back-to-back, just you're a little exhausted. I always think about when I'm tired, what sometimes maybe a player will feel like after, a physical night of exhaustion. And you're in the NBA, you're training to not be that way 40-something games in, but at the same time, there's going to be times in different time of the year that your body just doesn't respond.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it specifically with any individuals like, oh man, they had tired legs. Their shooting was shit. Like we noticed that when they were on the road against the Hawks and they lost that first one against them and their shooting was shit. And you could just see it in a lot of their heavy legs, right? It was the fatigue factor. Tonight, I didn't feel like a lot of it was the fatigue factor physically, maybe a little bit more mentally, just not locked in going after certain balls.
Philly's got some length and they've got toughness.
Yeah.
They've got guys that aren't afraid to mix it up. And I think when you look at Sacramento right now, it's like you need a little more toughness. You need, Sabonis can get after it sometimes. They're trying to get more of that from Keegan Murray. But like Keegan tonight only had 3 rebounds.
That sucks.
You got to go after some of these. Harrison Barnes had 4 rebounds tonight. I mean, the rebounding was terrible. And against some of these teams who play with more physicality, who want to go after it, that are going to give that second effort and get after that loose ball. Philly's a great example. Memphis on Monday. Dude, you better bring it. Otherwise, nights like this are going to happen. With all that said, they lose by 2 points, 129 to 127. I think it's just even more frustrating that you put up 127 points on your home floor and you lose. That hurts too.
It stings. And I think when you look at, again, the rebounding and your main guy that you always depend on, Domas Sabonis, with under double-digit rebounds, how dare he do that on a night like this?
He actually did get to 10 rebounds, so he ended up securing the triple-double.
Wait, really?
Yes, in the final box once it was updated.
I said it wrong then on the postgame. I hate not having that.
Sometimes they add stuff to the box score more.
But wait, why isn't it even here?
Maybe.
Let me refresh.
Refresh it. I don't know, man. What's it say on yours?
It still says 9.
Okay, so my final box says 10. I don't know.
This is not okay. Did he have a triple-double or did he have a double-double? Either way, it didn't feel like it.
I didn't think Sabonis had a good game tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
Harrell outplayed him. I thought also Sabonis. And look, when I'm being critical of Sabonis, like the guy has been on an absolute tear this month. Okay, I'm not gonna start slamming the guy because he has one kind of like game. I mean, he's been really good this year. I just felt like he was a little too passive for me. He took 10 shots, and against a Sixers team that doesn't have the same size, with Embiid out there, no, go
at
yours.
him.
And he was a little passive in this game, and I think I noted it was even in the fourth quarter. There were a couple of plays, and I'm like, man, why are you passing the ball? And I think he's just got to be a little more assertive. And it happens sometimes where maybe he hesitates. He had that one play late where he tried to dish it to Keegan, right? And it got deflected out of bounds, ended up being 3/10 on the shot clock, led to a shot clock violation. That was a pretty key play in the game, right? That was in the final stretch of the game. So, this was the sequence. It was 123-121 with about a minute 40 to go. Niang misses a 3. Then the Kings have like a bad possession. They're just like, Barnes had the air ball. Sabonis had the second chance, tried to kick that out to Murray, deflected out of bounds. 3/10 on the shot clock violation.
Yeah.
And it was just like, No, go get yours, man.
Yeah. No, and I get it.
He wasn't looking to score at times tonight, and 10
Again,
shots, not enough.
Fatigue mentality, or fatigue mentally for some of these guys. And I think even for him, as he possibly had a triple double tonight, but it was those numbers also started coming just little by little. You saw in that first half, his rebounding numbers were low. I believe he had 7 assists to end that first half. And I text you about the assist numbers. They ended up finishing with 28. It still didn't feel like the ball was moving well.
No, I definitely thought they settled, especially with that bench unit at times.
So one of the positive notes of the night, though, I would say De'Aaron Fox, not only as a whole, but I would say in that fourth quarter, really just being so consistent with what he's capable of doing in fourth quarters.
He was awesome. De'Aaron had 31 tonight. He had 9 assists. He had 14 points, 4 assists in the fourth quarter. He had the Sham God move in that game. That was nasty. With 22 seconds to go, you're busting that out in a close game. The guy's absurd. Like, he was getting to his spots again. I mean, it was the Sixers were answering, right? They're knocking down threes, and he hangs in a 3. Fox comes right back down. He was the reason that they still had a chance to win that game in the fourth quarter. And then you get to the end of the game, which is just absurd. I don't even know if we've hit on that yet. We've been talking about just the loss.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's 129-126. You're playing the foul game. They get the ball to Barnes with 4.6. Like 4.6 on the clock. They end up getting it to Barnes to get a look from 3. He goes up and draws a foul. I didn't see the replay. I was like, was that really a shooting foul? He ends up going to the line to shoot 3 with a chance to tie the game. Misses the first. Which is just brutal.
Yeah.
So now you're in a position, okay, you have to make the next one, and then you have to intentionally miss the next to maybe get an offensive rebound, put back. Let's go to overtime. Well, he did that, right? Like, he got in out. He made the next one. He missed that perfect. Kings brought Alex Len into the game to rebound to try to get something back, and the Kings did not. They weren't obviously able to put that back, but that was such a wild sequence.
Yeah. And it didn't, and obviously the game was not lost at the free throw line with
No.
Harrison Barnes at the end, but it was one of those moments like, we've seen some big free throws being hit by guys as of late. Rashawn Holmes staying ready, hitting his. I'm not, putting Harrison Barnes down for missing that first one. I'm just saying how much it crushed my soul in that moment when I just really was like, okay, this could go to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, missed free throws. I mean, Harrison Barnes tonight, by the way, 27 points.
Exactly.
8 of 13. He knocked down 6 of 9 from 3, unfortunately. He missed that free throw. He was perfect at the line before that.
And so hot in that first half with the way he was knocking down those threes.
He had 5 threes in the first half. He was
transition,
money. And he's
relocating.
Yes.
Great job by Barnes.
Absolutely. And I thought Keegan had some nice moments tonight. He ends up with 13. He needs to get some more shots, I think. I thought he also did some nice things defensively. I think he is just showing more and more signs that, he can be a complete player out there.
Keegs?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just think when he's out there, it's not like, he looks like a rookie out there that's going to be a good NBA player. He looks like he belongs. High IQ player, great size, and then being able to hit that corner 3 that he hit late in the game. I love
that was
that
a
it wasn't
time shot.
That's
dude.
what I'm saying. It wasn't too big of a moment for him. Those moments and those lessons, I just love seeing the way that we're witnessing his development.
Yeah.